Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we'll be talking about a new expansion that's been a long time coming for the football program, the North End Zone Project, and my guest today, Director of Athletics, Jeremy McClain. Jeremy, thanks for joining me today to talk about this highly anticipated addition to the university. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. I'm always excited to talk about this project. It's been, like you said, a long time coming, and glad we're finally to the point where we can have some serious discussions about it's happening, here's what it's going to look like.
And of course, you know, the announcement was made, and everyone has been looking at that North End Zone and knowing that it's something, even as, I mean, you know, Coach Blakeney had talked about, I want something there when he was here, and the effort to try to get that facility there. And now it's finally come to fruition. There's been a groundbreaking, the plans are out there, and it looks amazing. But in all reality, what does this mean for football program and Troy athletics in general to have this facility?
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to it. I think I'll start at the beginning. As Coach Blakeney, like you said, really was his vision. We need this. We want to put it in this North End Zone, but it's really not as much about the North End Zone as it is about the space for our football program, the day-to-day, everyday use of the space. And so, you know, we've been operating in probably about a third of the size of what we really need. And so our coaches have done an excellent job of making it work. But what this building is going to do is allow us to have the space we need to operate as a football program that wants to be one of the best in the country, and that's our objective. And so we're talking about a 55,000 square foot building that's going to house a locker room, strength and conditioning space, athletic training, players area, recruiting space, coaches locker rooms, meeting space, and offices. And so on the inside and on the day-to-day piece, that's going to be really important for us. But then you talk about how it changes the feel of the stadium. Bowl in the end zone that's enclosed, the stadium's going to be louder, it's going to look better, it's going to feel more intimate. Fans are going to be on top of the field, which is going to be great, I think, from a home team standpoint. And then the recruiting aspect of that. Yeah. And we talk about 17, 18-year-old young men making decisions on where they want to spend 4 or 5 years. Where they're going to spend their time is a big piece of that on a daily basis, and so that's not an asset that we've had. Yeah. We've had to emphasize the other parts of our program that have been really good because that part wasn't where it needed to be. So now we can emphasize that aspect and really highlight our investment in our program and where we're headed.
And one of the things, the additional benefits to the fans, you mentioned the seating, new concession area was announced there, but one of the things that I'm looking forward to is a brand new scoreboard in that North End Zone, which sitting in the stands after the announcement, I looked up to about where it was going to be, and I was kind of impressing myself upon how cool that's going to look down there. So
it's going to be neat. Like you said, we're going to add about 400 chairback seats to the top of that building. There's going to be a terrace tailgate area up there, high-end concessions. And then on top of that, sitting on top of the building, will be a 35 by 90 square foot scoreboard, which is twice as big as the current one. We're going to leave the current one where it is, but this one's going to be really impressive, and it's going to kind of tower over that building, and again, it's going to be close to the field. So it's going to be really impressive, I think, on game day, and really help our in-game environment from the standpoint of the energy and excitement that happens inside the stadium.
And facilities become so important nowadays, especially in competition with teams in our own conference, Sun Belt Conference, because facilities upgrades, if you don't upgrade, you kind of fall behind in that recruiting area. So is that something that's been in your view, that we've got to make sure that we're at the same level, if not better than the other teams in our conference?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think that's definitely, we've had, you know, probably when we joined the conference, we were in great shape 10 years ago or so. But over that course of time, a lot of our members of our conference have upgraded their facilities. And so very quickly, we slid from the top tier to really the bottom tier in facilities. And so I think the big piece of that puzzle is to especially on the recruiting front, be able to stay ahead of the game. And you know, when there are a lot of conference peers that we compete against for student athletes, and it's going to be a big difference maker for us.
And one of the things I want to reiterate to the folks out there who want to help support the program, you mentioned this at the announcement, even though we're building it, you still haven't paid for it yet, right? So you're still looking for folks to maybe help out a little bit financially with us.
Correct, and we obviously have a plan to pay for it, but the big piece of that is we'll have some opportunities for people to support it through some naming opportunities in the building, through purchasing tickets in that seating area, season tickets, and so there'll be a lot of opportunities for people to assist with the success of this building, and we'll make sure everybody knows what those are.
And of course, completion date we're looking at finished in the spring of 2018,
Correct.
but should be able to folks could enjoy it by the time Boise comes rolling into town for that home game in 2018.
Yeah,
right?
It's going to be a great way to open it. We're going to get our team in it in the spring of 2018, but then first game, like you said, Boise comes to town to kick off the 2018 season. Will be we expect to our goal will be to fill that stadium up and break that thing in right.
Yeah, well, here's hoping we can do that. Thanks for joining us. And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.